I'm here at BGG.CON 2014 with Matt from Cryptozoic.
That international date line throws people off the year.
Yes,
so.
2014.
Right.
Cryptozoic.
Cryptozoic Entertainment, that's right.
Well, why don't you show us some of the games that you have with you
Sure. We brought just our most recent releases from the last 4 months, and one of those is the Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. This finishes off the trilogy of the movie, and this game is unique. It's standalone, but also fully compatible with the other Lord of the Rings and even The Hobbit. So you can mix them all together to however you want. This game is unique from the other games in that there is a little cardboard map that comes in here, a little game board, where you track the movement of the ring from Athelion all the way to the Track of Doom and try to destroy the ring. If you don't destroy the ring, Sauron is going to be a lot harder to take down. All right, so that is the cool thing here, and this finishes off the entire trilogy. All right, and that's 2 to 5 players. That's a deck building game, in case I didn't mention. We do a lot of deck building games, in case you didn't notice. Another deck building game is the Naruto Shippuden deck building game. This is built on the same engine, the Cerberus engine. That's Cerberus Middle-earth. This is Cerberus Anime, okay? Uses the same engine, but this one has a twist in that your hero card, and in all of our games you play as a character from the movie or TV show or anime or comic book. In Naruto, your oversized hero has 4 chakra points, which are card types and colors. So when you lay your cards down, you actually lay them around your character to generate extra energy to power up some of your cards. So that is a unique thing about the game. Now, power is what you use to buy cards. Chakra is what you use to kind of energize your cards, make them more exciting. All right, so that's a cool one. Next up, this is the latest release in the Card Wars, Adventure Time Card Wars line. This is a trading card game, two-person trading card, normal head-to-head battles. The latest deck here, this is Princess Bubblegum versus Lumpy Space Princess. And this one is unique in that it's the debut of the Nice Lands landscape, okay? We had previously teased it a little bit, but now you can actually get the Nice Lands landscapes. It's a 2-player head-to-head. It's a lane combat style trading card game. So while you can customize your deck, you attack down a lane and there's either a creature there or there's not. So it's not a lot of difficult blocking choices like some trading card games have. So this is a fun one. Okay.
What kind of age range would you say that game's good for?
This one's 10 plus, so it's good for slightly younger kids, especially with the kind of regimented style of combat. There's not complex decisions to be made there, but the effects on the cards are like real trading card game style. And of course there's flooping, because I don't know if you've seen the Card Wars episode of Adventure Time, but flooping is a big part of it. Another one, this is a mock-up of a box top here, which I'll try to get the glare off, for Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards. Duel at Mount Skullsfire was the original. This was Rumble at Castle Tenta-kill.
Excellent.
All right. So this is the sequel. It's a standalone, but also fully compatible. It's not out yet. This is just a little mock-up box here. It'll be out in hopefully early-ish 2015. This has some unique elements, even though it's fully compatible. It has some unique elements. I've already spoiled for people here at BGG.CON that one of the things that you can do in the game is, in the first game there's this cool little standee, a cardboard standee, that sits around, and people were like, well, what's the standee for? What does it do? And it's like, well, it's just for show, it's just cool. And they're like, oh man. Well, so the designer, Rob Heinze, thought, you know what, let's incorporate a new standee here, so you get a brand new standee. And now you actually want to gain the standee because it will help you. Okay. So there's certain cards in the game. This is like a game about battle wizards blasting each other, to Kingdom Come, with all sorts of crafty spells that you put together, these 3-card combos of spells. So now that standee is actually game functional. So people don't have to wonder what that's for anymore, all right? So this is a fun one. Yeah, and we got the same artist, and Corey Jones also did all the art design on it, and Nick Edwards did the art. So this is one definitely people are looking forward to. Next up, this is a deck building game. It's actually, we call it a team building game. It's the NHL hockey team building game. Now, really what that means is it's a deck building game, but for hockey fans, they might not understand what deck building is, but they know what team building is, okay? It's in English and French. Sorry, it's not in Australian, so sorry.
I'll translate, it's fine.
Yeah, we don't, I guess if it were field hockey, right? So anyway, this one is, basically we're trying to get as many players in the game as possible, so all the teams are represented. Not every player is represented, but every player card is unique in the game, so you're not going to find the same Sidney Crosby card, multiple times in there, except that he's a captain as well. But you play as a captain, and you try to build up your dream team. Now, a fun thing about this game is there's a little goal here where the goalies stand up. Okay, so what happened? And this is the puck. All right, so the game does not have victory points like your typical deck building game. Instead, you're just trying to score goals. Okay, so when you want to take a shot on goal, at the very start of your turn, you grab the puck. Okay. Now each of the other players have a chance to play one defenseman to add to the difficulty rating of the goalie, to make the goalie harder to beat, basically. Then you play out your turn, okay? So in that sense, there's some mystery, some danger. You don't know, you might say, okay, I have enough to beat the goalie, but do you after everyone else has played their defenseman? You don't know. So there's always that little sense of mystery. So that is a fun new addition. And at the end of the game, you just count how many goals you scored. So you're going to end up with a hockey score like 4-3, right? Okay. All right, now let's get over to the DC side of it. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. This one is the DC Deck Building Crisis expansion, number 1. So you might say, number 1, does that mean there's going to be a number 2? Well, yes, there will be. Yes, indeed. So what Crisis does is it turns the very competitive DC deck building game into a cooperative game. And this is thematically linked to our original DC set, okay? So you'll find the Justice League. It was in were the heroes of set 1, okay? So in Crisis 1, you have new versions of those characters. They are crisis versions. So instead of just helping yourself, they allow you to help other people. So you can work together to overcome the crisis cards. And the crisis cards require everyone to be very coordinated. And that can be, it can be tough. We'll admit, but we wanted to, hey, it's a crisis, right? And there's also competitive stuff in here too, like new characters like Constantine, Swamp Thing. So that's exciting for both co-op and competitive.
Excellent. Do the crisis cards scale for the number of players, so you can get harder or easier?
It is harder. It's 2 to 5 player games, so the number of players does make it harder. So we actually cut down on the number of crises that you have to overcome to compensate. Because yes, it is for 5 players to all coordinate. Like everyone has to destroy a hero, at the same time. Not everyone's going to have a hero to destroy. So yeah, you cut down on the number of challenges you have to go through. And if you could grab the last one, the most exciting, you'll notice that there are only 2 copies over there.
Yes.
That's because we are going to sell out within the next 15 minutes as soon as those stores open. So this is DC Deck Building game Forever Evil. This is the 3rd big box in the DC line, and it's a standalone but also fully compatible. The unique thing about this is you get to play as a villain now, okay? And villains are very destructive, so there is a ton of card destruction in this set, all right? A lot of people love their card destruction. You will find it all over the place in this set. Other unique things about this game is there are some tokens. there are victory point tokens, so you can actually gain hard currency victory points during the game instead of just you know, waiting to see how well you're doing at the very end with counting your cards. Now you can be like, well, sweet, I'm amassing a nice pool of victory points. Of course, you know, people might be able to steal some of those away from you, but victory points are a new cool thing. There's also a frozen token. Actually, there's several frozen tokens because there's Captain Cold's gun. He can, when you play the Cold gun, you can place a frozen token on a card in the lineup. The lineup is where you buy cards from. That freezes the card, so none of the other players, even yourself, can buy or gain that card. But at the start of your next turn, you remove the frozen token. So if there's a card you don't want your opponents to get, you can freeze it, keep them from getting it. All right. This does not release until December 3rd, but we airship over a few cases just for the Board Game Geek crowd to check it out, to be nice. And so December 3rd is when you're going to want to get this one. And we have 2 copies left as of today. So we were kind of holding back a little bit so people who didn't show up till today could get it. So that is what we brought, and yeah, everyone's having a blast. We're doing demos as well.
Awesome. Thanks very much for that.
All right, thank you.